The 2023 Nations Cup that took place in Cote d'Ivoire has come and gone, but the memories lingers. Wonderful competition. Of course, after the Nations Cup, people have continued to call to say, Wale Ajayi, tell us your experience at the Nations Cup. Okay, now, let me take you back. How it all began. Of course, I left Canada. I left Canada on the 16th of January, and of course, I landed in Abidjan on the 17th of January, just one day before the Super Eagles took on Ivory Coast in that big match, that big Group A match. And of course, that match took place on the 18th of January. Yeah, it ended 1-0 in favor of the Super Eagles. I remember those wonderful memories. We danced at the stadium, we celebrated, we had fun at the stadium, and of course, I had some of my best interviews after that match. Now, let me tell you, beyond that match, because before the match, we played 1-1 against Equatorial Guinea, and everybody was like, it was all over for the Super Eagles. I was not one of those that believed in these Super Eagles. I must be frank with you. I never believed that these boys would make it up to the semi-finals or even the final stage of the Nations Cup. That was why I left early for the Nations Cup. Now, in 2021, when the Super Eagles participated in the Nations Cup in Cameroon, I left very late, and of course, I came back early because we went out in the round of 16. So this time around, I decided to go early so that in case we are going out, I must have seen 2 or 3 matches. But eventually, I saw 6 wonderful matches. Now, let's go back to the Nations Cup, the fun, the razzmatazz, the frenzy, the wonderful moments of the Nations Cup. Now, let me take you back to Abidjan. Abidjan, wonderful city. This is a city I love so much. I've been there before when I went to watch the Super Eagles involved in a Waffle Cup competition. That was the home-based Super Eagles. And then on that occasion, we won by 2-1. So it was a time for me to visit Abidjan again. I had some wonderful fun. Now, when I went to Abidjan, when I got to Abidjan, because I went through and landed at the capital city in Abidjan. So immediately I landed at Abidjan, I saw the wonderful sceneries. Many of those things have changed because the president of that state, Alassane Ouattara, has been able to do some wonderful, wonderful things in that country. He's been able to change the roads. The road networks are superb. And of course, you have 24 hours electricity supply in Abidjan. Of course, in the whole country, talking about Cote d'Ivoire. So I must say that I must commend the people, I must commend the government and the people of Cote d'Ivoire, because that is one of the neatest countries I've seen in Africa. And of course, I also had time to visit some wonderful places. I saw some of the best hotels I've seen in Africa. I must tell you that the hotel where CAF put most of the dignitaries, that is the Sofitel Hotel, is one of the best hotels you can ever see. Then the bridge, one of the biggest bridges you can ever see in Africa, I saw it in Abidjan. And of course, that bridge, I understand, was done just before the Nations Cup. So I want to commend the government and the people of Abidjan, of Cote d'Ivoire, for giving us a fantastic tournament. Now, this stadium, some wonderful stadium. I remember the Alassane Ouattara Stadium. That is the stadium that is in Ebimpe that hosted the final of the Nations Cup. That is a fantastic stadium. There's also another stadium in Bouaké. I was at the stadium in Bouaké, and of course, I was also at the stadium that is situated inside Abidjan. So I saw some fantastic facilities, and I must say that this Nations Cup, the 2023 Nations Cup, or the 2023 AFCON, was the best AFCON. I mean, it's the best AFCON I've ever witnessed. But again, beyond the razzmatazz, beyond the funfair, beyond all the activities that took place outside the stadium, let's go into the field of play. The Super Eagles of Nigeria was the most, I mean, they were the best team at the AFCON. Of course, nobody gave them a chance at the AFCON, but based on performance, based on what we saw at the Nations Cup, I think the Super Eagles ended the Nations Cup as the best national team. Even though we lost to the Ivorian national team, a national team that finished third in Group A, in the same group with the Super Eagles, where the Super Eagles finished second. This Ivorian national team had just 3 points, and of course, eventually they qualified from the back door. They came from the back door, they won their matches, and they found themselves in the finals. Remember, the Super Eagles had wonderful games. We defeated big teams in this competition. We defeated Cameroon, we defeated Ivory Coast, and we also defeated the South African national team in the semi-final stage of this competition. So I must say that all in all, if you look at the performance of all the nations that took part at the Nations Cup, I must say that the Super Eagles deserve to win the gold medal. Eventually, they did not get the gold medal. They got a silver medal, and of course, the country celebrated that performance. Now, people are asking me, what is your best memory? What do you think was your best time at the Nations Cup? I'm going to give you 3 wonderful moments I had at the Nations Cup. One of my best memories was the journey to Buake. We took off as early as 10 a.m. in the morning, and we got to Buake around 2 p.m. in the afternoon. Of course, the match was to take place at 5 o'clock against South Africa, and eventually we won that match. But on the road, from Abidjan to Buake, I saw one of the best road network I've ever seen on the continent of Africa. And beyond that, it was a very peaceful journey. No police network, no checkpoints, nothing on the road, nothing on our path to Buake. Everybody welcomed us when we got to Buake, and we had a wonderful time in Buake. Do you believe that after the match, at about 11 p.m. that night, we left Buake back to Abidjan, and of course, it was a smooth journey. So, those were the experiences you never want to forget. Those are the wonderful memories that we had at the AFCON. And of course, in that final match, that epic final against the host nation, I saw a stadium that was jam-packed. One of the finals that you can say was filled to the brim. 59,000 spectators came to the stadium. A 60,000 spectator stadium was filled to the brim. And of course, after 90 minutes of play, the Ivorian national team won. The Low Elephants of Ivory Coast. They defeated the Super Eagles by 2-1. Do they deserve it on the day? Yes, they do. Because they played like a team that really wanted to win the cup. They won that cup for the nation. They won that cup for the people. And of course, they won that cup for the pride of the Ivorian people. But again, for me and for the Nigerian people, I thought even though we lost that final, we deserve to be given a pat on the back because the Super Eagles have given it their best. And I thought too that we can now come back and look at the gains of the 2023 AFCON and plan ahead for the 2025 AFCON competition. Well, for me, there were so many wonderful memories. But again, I have one superb memory I want to take along. Of course, I heard one of the best songs I've ever heard in Africa. One song that got me dancing. I don't like dancing most of the time. I don't always like dancing. But when I hear a good song, I know one. And of course, that song took everybody to their toes. And everybody that came to the Nations Cup got used to that particular song. I want to beg my DJ to give me that song so that I can dance and remember the frenzy, the memories, and the wonderful times of the AFCON. Let's go, Alisa. Let me have fun.
Y'a pas conseil, hein, à lui seulement. Tu fais ça pourquoi? Y'a un coup de guerre là. Hommage à toi, président Duk Saka. Venez danser, la cathédrale, dans l'Afrique ça va chauffer. Y'a aussi le pain. On fait ça bien, on a volé. Ici c'est la zone de carré. Lui qui néglige les barres. Regardez comment on maîtrise le bruit. Tous les corps pour s'enlever. Africain, on est les dieux. On est toujours debout, on n'est jamais fait.